Gorgeous coupe looks to be a proper grand tourer with a front-mounted V8 and an obvious focus on usability. God bless whoever was brave enough to ask the question at the end of the monthly Ferrari town hall meeting concerning exactly why it was that the company didn't make a car like the much-loved, big-selling 550 Maranello anymore. Surely that must have been how the Ferrari Roma coupe came into being. Not that the company is letting on. The 550 was Ferrari's modern high watermark for front-engine GTs. Smart-looking, usable, soulful, fast, involving and, most of all, really well-sorted for the road. It was followed up by increasingly wild and expensive front-engine, 12-cylinder successors that incrementally became less and less about everyday usability and accessible handling appeal and more about outright pace, grip, noise and lurid performance thrills as the years passed. The void that strategic shift left in the Ferrari model range has evidently taken some time to become apparent to the company, but we will let them off on that score. It was a bit of a mental leap to invoke the spirit of a car like the 550, not to mention so many other of the company's V12 GT greats of the 1950s and 1960s. With a reimagined fixed-head version of the turbo V8-powered Ferrari Portofino M, itself not the most revered of modern Ferraris, after all. And yet, what the Roma proves is how much can be achieved through a handful of very well-chosen technical changes. The car has quite a rich and ritzy new generation cockpit, too. And last but by no means least, it might be the most dazzling achievement yet of Ferrari's own in-house Centro-style design department. It's an important model, this, and not just for Ferrari, but with implications for the whole of its segment. Design and styling. The Roma is probably the best-looking new normal series production Ferrari since the 458 Italia. Possibly even since the F355, it has sublime proportions. Some beautifully pristine surfaces, and just a hint of visual menace about it. Some lovely detailing, too. The way the carbon fiber skirts and front splitter echo the shape of the bodywork above them, almost like a reflection in mill pond smooth water, is very clever indeed. Ferrari does admit that, under the skin, the Roma's all-aluminium chassis and body in white share a fair bit with the Portofino. The firm's claim is that, in those two areas combined, the Roma is 70% new, although we suspect that 70% by individually itemized components, not by volume or weight. Sure enough, if you compare the technical dimensions of the car with those of the Portofino, you will quickly see that the two wheelbases are identical. The Roma's roof height is significantly lower, however, and its body and axles wider. At the same time, some of the new and repositioned mechanicals of the Roma's Driveline have helped deliver it a center of gravity some 20 millimeters lower than that of the related hardtop convertible. It's also nearly 100 kilograms lighter. Since we originally tested the Roma, the Portofino has been replaced by the Ferrari Roma Spider. Good decision. Interior. The Roma is a 2+2, something the celebrated 550 wasn't, with a bold and quite lavish interior, very much intended to make inroads into the customer bases of the likes of Audi, Mercedes-AMG, and even Bentley. The back seats are usable only for smaller adults and kids, but the Roma has a boot big enough for a couple of small flight cases and that even offers some through-loading space for longer loads. The seats are soft, easily berthed, and comfortable over distance, and its infotainment technology is new also. The footrest in the footwell is too close, though, which is uncomfortable on longer journeys. The Roma inherits its dual-screen human-machine interface, which, in this instance, means a digital instrument screen and a portrait-oriented infotainment screen from the Ferrari SF90 Stradale. The 16 inches instrument screen is controlled via a haptic thumb pad on one of the spokes of the new steering wheel. The new wheel hub design consolidates and simplifies some secondary controls and moves others from the front of the wheel to the back, so that it looks less cluttered. You control the window wipers through a little knob rather than a rocker switch, which does make life easier. Although other functions are operated via capacitive touch-sensitive switches rather than physical buttons, which are only lit and active at certain times and don't make life easier.